There's nothing quite like getting a designer handbag that's been on your wish list for years. One that you've fantasized about owning and then you finally get to take it home. I think very carefully about the luxury items that I decide to purchase because wow, are they expensive, especially with all the recent price increases. I take my purchases very seriously. Even if money was no issue, I would still be very selective about the handbags that I bring into my wardrobe. You'll see as we go through my collection that a few of my handbags are vintage. They've been passed down to me from my mum, and that's the kind of philosophy that I want to have with my new bags as well. I want my pieces to have that longevity. I want them to be timeless and classic. And this leads me on really nicely to introduce to you the sponsor of today's video, idyl. idyl are a lab-grown diamond jewelry brand that I've actually been working with for the past 2 years. idyl makes extremely high quality jewelry and they specialize in lab-grown diamonds. If you're unfamiliar with lab-grown diamonds, they are exactly the same as a natural diamond, except that they are not mined, but they are literally grown in a lab. This means that not only are they better for the environment, but they're also cheaper. idyl also uses 14 karat solid gold, so you never have to worry about your pieces changing color. I wear mine in the shower, I work out in them, and I've never ever had any issues over the 2 years that I've been wearing their pieces. And the really special thing about idyl is that their pieces are modular, which means you can so easily mix and match them together to create different looks to suit all occasions. And I'm gonna show you a couple of ways that I like to style my pieces. So I wear the studs in the petite size, and for an everyday look, I love to style the Leah, which is a paired diamond. I find that it just really elevates any outfit. Then next to that, I have the Silas chain. And then in the last piercing, I have the Liv ear climber, which is just a really fun piece to wear. Another stack that I like to put together is with the Audrey, which is this sparkly evil eye looking one. And then next to that, I have the Apollo chain, which is one of my favorites actually. It has 2 diamonds on it. I love that the chain is really dainty and really subtle. It's something that I've not seen from any other brand. And then for my third stack, I have on the Leo. And then I have on the Lucia. And then next to that is the Spark cuff, which just hooks onto your ear and has a chain that you can attach to another stud. They also have necklaces, and so right now I've got on the Ava pear diamond, which is a piece I haven't taken off since I got it, and the pear matches the Leah pear for your ears as well. Of course, we are in gifting season and idyl is seriously the perfect holiday gift. The packaging is absolutely gorgeous. Even the colors that they use are so elegant, and they really make the whole unboxing an experience. It really is such a special moment when you get to open your package, you unwrap the ribbon, rifle open the tissue paper, and there you see your amazing, gorgeous diamonds. They even sometimes include some really cute gifts in your orders. So a couple things I've received before is like the silk hair scrunchie. I've also gotten this really, really nice, like soft, squishy, silky pouch, which I use as like a handbag organizer. And then I've also received this travel pouch, which has saved me many times from losing my jewelry. So you never know, when you order, you might get something extra inside. If you're still looking for the perfect holiday gift, well, I think this is it. It doesn't get any more special than diamonds. And you can get 10% off if you shop through my link in the description box and use the code Adeline10. Everything I've shown you will be linked below. So make sure you order soon so that you get your gifts in time for the holidays. So in no particular order, but this is definitely my most used luxury handbag. This is the Celine Ava, and I've bought this August 2022. I just had to think, what year are we in? Yeah, I got this August 2022 and I use this all the time. I do have a full review of this on my channel. I'll link it above so that you can watch it and see, you know, I do like a what fits inside and all that kind of stuff. But basically, I absolutely love this bag so much. It's probably one of my best luxury purchases. I just think it's so versatile. I use this as like an everyday bag, but I've also taken it, you know, out in the evening for like evening dinners. And then I've even taken it out to like bars and clubs as well. I'm also not normally someone who likes to take their designer things with them when they go traveling, but I actually did take this with me when I went to Italy. I think that because I feel like it's not a very, very loud designer handbag. I felt okay with taking it. And that's kind of why I wanted to buy this bag as well, because I don't find that it's like screams luxury, but it is. For the amount I use it, I think that it still looks to be in really good condition. I mean, it is coated canvas, it's not leather. So you can be a little bit rougher with it. I mean, not that I am rough with it, but you can kind of knock it about a little bit more than leather. However, there are two parts of the bag that I would say have had the most wear. Firstly, the gold stamp on the strap. So I did mention this in my review video. The gold stamp was already kind of wearing off and now it is pretty faint. But because it doesn't really compromise the usability of the bag, I don't really mind that the gold stamp that says Celine on it is kind of fading. It doesn't really bother me at all. Another place where I think you can see a little bit of wear and tear is just on the edge of where the strap is. You can see a bit of the thread coming out. I don't know how to get rid of that except for I guess I could just snip it off, which I think I will do actually after this video. But aside from those two very, very minor things, I've used this so much since I've got it and it still looks brand new. So the next Celine bag I have is the So Sangle in the large size. I got this one at, trying to think, beginning of 2022. And this was a purchase that I had thought about for like 4 or 5 years. I never could afford it until when I bought it. And I was just so happy when I got it. It's just something that I'd wanted for such a long time. I had always wanted a Phoebe Philo design. This actually has the new Celine label, like the one that doesn't have the accent on the E, but it is a Phoebe Philo design. And so I was fine with it not having the old Celine logo. I do have a full, really in-depth review on this, which I will link as well. But basically, I pretty much use this whenever I have to take my laptop around with me. My Mac fits in here really nicely, and I can also fit like a ton of other stuff in here as well. I love the really thick shoulder strap. It's really comfortable. And I just really love that it is a really minimal design. I like that it's kind of an under the radar Celine bag. I think if you are really into this brand, then you'll know that it's Celine, but it's not a really obvious Celine bag, such as like the luggage or I don't know, the belt bag. I know that when I bought this bag, they told me that it's being discontinued. I don't know if it has officially been discontinued now, but I always see this bag on like Vestiaire. So if you are after this bag, you can probably get a really good deal on it secondhand. However, I will say that even with nothing inside, this bag is quite heavy. I mean, for the amount of leather and like how thick the leather is, I guess it makes sense. But if you're looking for a light bag to carry all your things in, this probably isn't it. However, I just love it so much. So the last Celine bag that I have is this vintage one from my mum. I don't even know what the style is called, but it is around 20 something years old. It is just a very simple top handle and it has silver hardware, and on the lock it has the Triomphe logo on it, and it just says Celine. It's very, very sleek and simple. I definitely got my love of fashion through my mum. I just have memories of being a kid and being with her in like Armani and just watching her try on all these amazing dresses and trousers and clothes. She definitely has a great taste in fashion. I like to think that I was influenced by her. You can tell by this bag that she liked very classic things, because even if I use this now, I think it just blends in so seamlessly with all the things that I have. It just works well, even in 2023. Because of the shape of it, you can't put too much inside, but nonetheless, I still love it. I should definitely make more use out of it. And it's such a sentimental piece. I would never ever get rid of this. So moving on to my number one prized possession. This is my Chanel classic flap in the size small in the lambskin leather. So this was actually a birthday gift from my boyfriend for my 30th birthday last year. My gifts are not normally this big and extravagant. This is a 100% a one-off and it's not gonna happen again, which is totally fine. This has always been my dream handbag. Like, I've dreamt about wanting this bag since I was a teenager. It's always just been my North Star #1 handbag that I've always wanted. I think it's so classic. I think it's the most timeless bag that you can ever have. And it's probably like the one overhyped thing that I can get behind. But I never wanted a brand new one. And not just because of the price increases, but that definitely, of course, plays a huge role in it because they are just so ridiculously priced now. But as this was a gift for my 30th birthday, I also just had this idea in my head that I wanted one from the same year that I was born. So I got this from a consignment store here in London called Zoops. They're a very, very reputable, like, luxury consignment store. I have a whole video talking about the process that I went through and like tips of buying this bag, which I'll also link above as well. I definitely save this bag for special occasions. I don't take it out with me as like an everyday bag. This is a bag that I really baby. I take care of it. She's my child and I will have her forever. So next I have a bag that I don't think I've ever shown on this channel. This is the Lady Dior in the size small. This is a bag that mostly belongs to my mother, but I use it sometimes too, although I've only ever used it like once or twice. This was always my mum's dream handbag, and so last year for Christmas, we finally got it for her. Much like my Chanel classic flap, this is just another really, really beautiful, timeless handbag. It's one that I definitely only use for special occasions. I think it just looks so elegant, you know, being held by the top handle. It did come with a crossbody strap, which I have never ever used. Let me show you actually. It comes with this very thick strap, so I guess you can use it more casually if you want to. I personally wouldn't. I just think the strap makes it look too modern. I think if it was like a thinner chain strap, then maybe, but this thick leather strap is, I think it just ruins the bag in all honesty. But you do get to choose 3 charms that they give you complimentary. And we went for C Heart A, so that's my mum's initial, and then a heart and then my initials. So that's what we went with, but we never ever use it. I just think this bag looks so much better when you're holding it on the top handle or you've got it in the crook of your arm. So the second bag from Dior is this vintage number, again, from my mum. This is a coated canvas clutch, although it does have a chain strap, but I think it looks better as a clutch. It's in this vintage Dior print and it has the Dior logo at the front. It's just one simple compartment, just open it up like this. And I think it's just such a great vintage piece. I've actually come across this bag, or like a variation of this bag, on Vestiaire, so I'll see if I can find it again and I will link it in the description. When I was in my early 20s, I didn't have that many bags. I used to use this all the time. I used this so much. And I think it just goes to show that, you know, if you buy something that's super timeless and quite simple, it really does stand the test of time. Like, my mum used this, you know, however many years ago, and then I used this when I was like in university and in my early 20s, and I would still use this today. So I think that is just like the philosophy of what I want to follow when I purchase my handbags. So next I have here a Mulberry BAYSWATER. This is probably one of the first ever like big name luxury handbags that I ever got. This must be definitely over 10 years old now, and it's been well used, well loved. I got this from Bicester, which is like a luxury outlet shopping village here in the UK. It's such a great place to shop. But because I got this from the outlet, I do wonder if this is a version of the BAYSWATER that they made just for the outlet, because when you look online, the BAYSWATER bags that they have online have like feet on the bottom and they just look slightly different. They look a little bit more sturdy. So I don't know if this is like a cheaper version that they made just for the outlet, because I know some brands do that. But nonetheless, I loved this bag so much. I mean, I still do. I think this is such a great like first designer handbag if you're in your early 20s, or if you're just looking for a bag that is really versatile. It's so useful. It's really big without being too bulky. You can fit a lot of things inside. It has a really secure closure. You can see how well loved this bag has been because the hardware is like pretty scratched up, and same goes for the sides. They're pretty banged up, but you know what? This bag has been so well used and well loved. And I think what makes this just a great designer purchase is, I mean, obviously it depends on your preferences, but it's also another bag that's not super loud designer. It's subtle in its branding, it's really practical. I just think the Mulberry BAYSWATER to this day is still such a great handbag. So the second Mulberry handbag I have is the Mulberry Lily. This is another really old bag. I think this is also like 10 years old or so. This is in like this really beautiful burgundy color in like a smooth leather. I think Mulberry leather is great. I mean, for how old this is and how much it's been used, the leather is still in incredible condition. This is another bag that I think is really versatile. Some of you may not know, but I lived in Sydney for 4 years and I didn't take a lot of things with me, including handbags. I only took a few handbags with me, but this was one of them. And I found this to be so versatile because even though it's small, you can actually fit a lot more than you think you can inside. And so for that reason, it was really great to use during the day. But also because it's a soft bag, if you want to use this at night and not have that many things inside, it's not like a super bulky bag. It's still small enough, I think, to get away with for an evening bag. And then the strap also you can use on your shoulder, or you can make it longer and wear it crossbody for the day. So this was just such a useful bag to have with me when I was living in Sydney. It's also really light, and again, the closure is like really secure. You can see the hardware is pretty scratched up, but it's still a bag that like I would get a lot of use out of. And I think this kind of burgundy color is so nice. I had a look online. They do have an ox blood, but it's in more of a grained leather, whereas this is like a smooth leather. I think Mulberry as a luxury designer handbag brand don't get enough credit because the leather on both of these bags have held up so well over the 10 years that I've had and used this bag. And again, I think the branding on them it's subtle. It's not like a super loud, look at me, I'm holding a designer handbag. And that's like what I quite like about these bags. So that is pretty much my designer handbag collection, but I do have one more bonus bag to show you, which I found, and I just think it's hilarious. So this is the bag. This is the dust bag for the bag. Do you recognize this logo? It's from Juicy Couture. This was, I think, my first ever designer handbag at the ripe old age of 16 years old. Basically, the story behind this is that at that age, so it was around 2008, the Balenciaga City bag was the it bag. It was everywhere. I used to read like all the fashion blogs. I used to follow the Olsen twins and see them carrying it around, and I wanted it so badly, but I obviously would never ask for it from my parents because it's ridiculously expensive for a 16-year-old. And I could, you know, I'm not gonna be able to afford it as either. So I saw this, I think I must have found this online, and in my 16-year-old brain, it seemed to be like a good dupe for the Balenciaga City bag. It's that same sort of shape, you know, you've got the top handle and like the shoulder strap, and this is the bag that I like begged my mum to get for me. I used this bag excessively for years and years and years. I loved it so much. I mean, the leather is absolutely falling apart now. For a long time, I couldn't bear to get rid of it because it's just really sentimental. Now that I've recently found it again, I do think it's time to let go of it because it's not something I'm gonna use again. It's really, really worn. And so yeah, I do think it's time to finally let go, but not before I put it on camera just as a little keepsake for myself and to show you guys, because I think it's quite funny to look back on these memories. So that is the full luxury handbag collection. Let me know what you think of my collection. If you are looking to purchase any of Idyl's pieces, remember to shop from the link in the description box and use the code Adeline10 so that you can get 10% off everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.